it is like a harassment, and my question is that our civil liberties have been taken away from us. What you are going to do to protect the Americans from this kind of harassment?
Who had a chance to vote on the Patriot Act right after 9/11, who voted against it right away.
That's because I read it. Now,
here's the question. Here's the question. Here's the question. Congressman, do you feel, as you felt on other issues, that those who voted for the Patriot Act, and there are several here on this stage, bear a responsibility for the way this individual, this American citizen, is being treated when he goes through an airport?
You're owed an apology. You really are. And every American should be able to present themselves without having to be further scrutinized based on ethnic identity. But let's go back to the point that you made here. The President of the United States is called upon to make the right decision at the right time. And you've seen here tonight, people who voted for the war, voted to fund the war, now they have a different position. People who voted for the Patriot Act, now they have a different position. People who voted for China trade, now they have a different position. People who voted for Yucca Mountain, now they had a different position. Just imagine what it will be like to have a President of the United States who's right the first time. Just imagine. And I don't think that the first questioner's question was really answered about what are you going to do about this president, and for that matter, the vice president, because they're out of control, and the Congress isn't doing anything.
Thank you, Congressman.
It's called impeachment, and you don't wait. You do it now.
All right.
You don't wait.
Suzanne has another question.
Now.
But I want
impeach them now.
Senator Biden, go ahead and respond, because you voted for the Patriot Act.
You know, facts are a funny thing. They get in the way.
A Kucinich appointment to the Supreme Court would have a litmus test on abortion. It's a question of a woman's right to choose and a right to privacy. But a president has to do more than that. A president has to be a healer, and this has been one of the great divides in our country. And so I want to also let the American people know that I'll stand for prenatal care, postnatal care, child care, a living wage, universal health care, sex education, birth control. We can make abortions less necessary if we have a healer in the White House, and we can also protect a woman's right to choose. We can do both.
Thank you, Congressman. Senator Clinton? Senator Clinton, would this be a cynical...
The continuing violence in Iraq, or if it's a potential confrontation with Iran, or even the emerging instability in Pakistan, nothing seems to be getting any better in the Middle East. It only seems to be getting worse. And if the upcoming election is anything like the last two elections, if any of you is elected, in all likelihood you'll be presiding over an extremely divided electorate. Almost half the country is not going to agree with you on the direction you want to take this country to meet those challenges in the Middle East. So my question to you is, assuming you are elected, the day after you take the oath of office, what message will you offer the whole country to unite all of us behind you so that you can see us through this period of transition that we're in?
I'd like to throw that to Senator Obama. Senator Obama, you said on a TV...
Do you consider fighting terrorism and slowing the flow of illegal immigration coming from our southern border as intrinsically related issues?
Governor Richardson, since you're the only one on this stage who does not support even building a fence, why don't you take this one?
That's not true.
Take this one.
That's not true.
By the way, Dennis, stop including me in all these votes. I've been a governor. I'm in New Mexico. I'm not in Washington.